Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Vanna Pfeiffer.
That sounded really enthusiastic. I did that one other time where I sounded like I was about to fall asleep halfway through the show. You know, you're supposed to have energy.
That's right. I thought I did. I had some energy.
You had energy there. I had no energy.
Oh, well. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, see, I just leave you hanging like that. Like, what? What do you want me to do? All right, this is the midweek. All right, now with energy. See, I'll go. Now, this is the midweek version of Fiber Talk, the twice weekly podcast for the needlework artiste part of us. And as always, when we gather this little group here, sponsored by Sassy Jacks. And here is a word from Kim.
This edition of Fiber Talk is proudly sponsored by Sassy Jacks Stitchery. Sassy Jacks is a vibrant young needlework shop located on the picturesque main street of Weaverville, North Carolina, happily situated between Five Little Monkeys Quilt Shop and nationally recognized Well-Bred Bakery. We are nestled in a valley of the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of western North Carolina, just minutes north of Asheville, and a short 20-minute drive from the Biltmore State, one of America's national treasures. Sassy Jacks Stitchery is proud to be a brick-and-mortar needlework shop, featuring cross-stitch, counted needlepoint, embroidery, and punch needle. We host a wonderful collection of fine antique needlework samplers on display, many of which have charted patterns available for purchase. We frequently rotate our collection, so every visit is likely to yield a new treasure for you to enjoy. We are moving into our fall and winter season of stitching at Sassy Jacks, and we invite you to join us in one of the many opportunities we've created for you to stitch along and learn. We have a return of our tree decorating event, wherein everyone who sends us a newly stitched ornament for our tree by December 24th will receive a coupon for 15% off any single purchase during January and February. This year will also mark our third year doing our special Valentine's Day small exchange. We've opened our designer selection to include Summerhouse Stitchworks and Jeanette Douglas Designs, in addition to Plum Street samplers. You may stitch any small design from any of these designers using a pattern and supplies from your stash or purchasing something new from us at Sassy Jacks. Finish it into a needlework small and send it to us before January 25th. We will exchange it from another in the group and send you a beautiful gift from your stitching sister just in time for Valentine's Day. Check out our website or upcoming newsletters for more details and finishing tips for these fun winter traditions at Sassy Jacks. We hope you find a way to visit us soon. If you can't make it to us, we hope you visit us online at Facebook, Instagram, SassyJacksStitchery.com, and our new FlossTube channel, Yonder Ways. We love it when you stop by and say hi, whether it's in person or online. We truly appreciate you, and we really appreciate all we hear and learn from Fiber Talk. We are super proud to be a sponsor of this wonderful resource for stitching goodness. Thank you, Fiber Talk, for giving us some stabby pokey talk twice a week. Kim and team at Sassy Jacks Stitchery.
Hey, thanks, Kim. Thanks for sponsoring us and all your support. And folks, please, all of our sponsors, but Kim at Sassy Jacks, as Vanna has said more than once, if you need it, call Kim. Yep. Mm-hmm. In the most recent Sassy Jacks newsletter, Kim has a little article about our Lenten Agnus Dei stitch along.
Yep. Can't pull out now.
No. Well, she got me intrigued because she put together a kit. So
I know.
Yeah.
And I thought gray on white, that'll be pretty.
Yeah, Parisian gray linen from Legacy Linen and sulky bright white number 12 pearl.
Yeah, that'll be beautiful. When I read that, I thought,
I know. Right. I thought, Yeah, because pearl, of course, I'm doing it on 35 count.
Yeah.
So I have just DMC because I'm hoping to do it one strand, though I'm going to experiment a little bit, make sure it's covering.
So pearl, is that 12 weight?
This is
30 count.
This is pearl petite.
Yeah.
So it's got to be smaller. It's number 12, bright white number 12. So it must be, but it's pearl petite. So I wonder if it's smaller than that. But on 30 count, a number 12 would probably be just right.
I'm tempted to get that. I'm tempted to just call Kim like I do every week. Literally. I just got a package from Sassy Jacks today. Anyways, I'm tempted to call her and just say, sign me up for that, because That was beautiful. Did you go look at the picture of the Parisian gray?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my purple. I have a vision for that, and I'm sticking with it. The only thing with mine is I got to stitch with one thread. I'm not going to mess around with 2 strands. So
Right.
If the DMC Bright White, the what is it, 5200? If that doesn't cover well enough, then I'm going to find something else. But this, in that sulky, even the sulky thread is pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
So I might try that. But I want a bright white. I want a really bright white on that purple. So no, I'm not. I'm sticking to my guns. I have a vision for that thing, and I'm sticking to it.
No, and that nice lady, didn't she send you that?
Right.
That
Yeah.
piece?
Yeah, Jessica Grimm. Yes, she did. No, and it's exactly what I had in mind. I mean, I have a vision for it, and I want it to come out like that, so I'm sticking to it. Yeah.
See, I didn't have mine hammered down exactly. You know what I mean? Not
yeah,
really.
And then it got less hammered when you saw Kim's selection.
When I saw the Parisian gray, I was like, oh, goodness, that's really nice.
Yeah, it is. Kim called a good one there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is really nice. Must say, it is very, very nice. And it's an Access Commodities linen. And I really like Access Commodities linen. I would say that it is likely Lakeside, which is Weigert base. Lakeside is probably oh gosh, I really like Lakeside. And I like Picture This Plus and stuff too, but they're all Zweigert base. But Access Commodities linen, it is very nice.
Well,
I really do like it. And that's what we're stitching the Queen on. The Queen is on Access Commodity.
Yeah, that's nice linen. It's really nice. Yeah.
So, see, look, what am I doing? I'm like talking myself into it here.
Talking? I think it's more past tense. You already did. Yeah, I don't think this is a present tense here. This is past tense. You're just making it sound like you're thinking about it.
It's really pretty. I mean, that Parisian gray is very pretty. And with white, think about that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah. I like my purple. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I was thinking like swan feather. There's an Access Commodities called swan feather, which is like a white, of course, swans. Haha. And,
I get it.
Yeah, swan. I was like, it's a white. I'm always so redundant. But anyways, Parisian gray, I don't know just the name of it, Parisian gray. Doesn't that make you want to do stitch on it? Me, it does. When I read Parisian gray in her newsletter, I went immediately to Sassy Jacks' website to look at it. So anyways, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't, it's a long time before Fat Tuesday.
Boy, ad agencies must just love you.
What do you mean? Yeah, companies probably do. I don't hear from anybody, but they surely should like every word that comes out of my mouth.
Parisian gray just sounds so nice. I just got to have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Parisian gray. That's awesome. That's almost like saying Dove chocolate.
Yes.
Have a fabric like Dove called Dove chocolate.
Yeah. Buy it by the truckload then, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, that's a good choice by Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Definitely.
On 30 count. That's going to be some size to it. I didn't
That's
look that up.
That's going to be that's a huge piece because Anya Stay is not tiny by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. Yeah. So that's going to be a good size piece, but she's right, that just stitch with one strand.
Yeah, that's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Vanna, you know the phone number.
Yeah, I got it on speed dial.
Kim's going to put her own hotline in for you.
Yeah. Red light's dinging, that's Vanna. Pick it up.
Yep.
Oh, geez.
Man. So we're recording on Monday because I have to do a trade show Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're recording on Monday. So Sunday afternoon, I got some time. And so I'd been riding my bike pretty hard lately because I'm trying to get to 5,000 miles for the year. So I need to put my feet up.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to sit in the recliner and watch football. Well, then I need to thoroughly test my Fanny frame with my 5X glasses.
Oh.
Because I haven't been able to do that. I haven't had time to do it.
Yep.
So it took some fiddling because I thought I would use my daylight. What brand is that magnifier?
Halo
Daylight. Halo magnifier as a light off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
But I really couldn't get it close enough to put enough light on the piece.
Right.
So I went and got my clip-on LED light, that hammerhead thing that I have.
Yeah.
And clipped that onto the hoop. Well, that gave me the right light.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my halo off to the side, just putting some light on the general area, and then that clip-on thing on the piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down in that recliner, and I was able to get that without much. Once I figured out the lighting and the magnification, the magnification was the glasses, I was able to get that just right. And I have to say, I had it sitting there with that paddle under my leg.
Yeah.
At just the right height. My arms were comfortable. I could look over my glasses and over the hoop at the TV and watch the football. Man, I had it knocked. I just absolutely had it knocked. It was wonderful. And I just sat there, and then we have a Bible study that meets at our house a couple times a month. And, of course, that was the Sunday.
Oh.
So it got interrupted for that. But when they all left, I went right back down and did the same thing. Yep.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you just sat there with your Fanny Stand right there under your leg going.
No, I lead the Bible study, so that would have been really rude.
Gary, you do everything.
Yeah, I'm kind of stupid, yeah.
Well, we are like two peas in a pod kind of when it comes to that kind of stuff. We're both overextended.
Yeah. Well, it's a good group, and we've been meeting, I don't know, 5 years?
Really?
Maybe, yeah, probably 5 years, yeah. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I have to laugh though. You said, you had your Fanny Stand underneath your leg and going. So did you do it on the side or in between? How did you do that?
On the side, under my right thigh.
Okay. See, I don't like it like that. But anyways,
you like it right under your crotch. Then. Okay.
I like it right that way. Okay. So now you set it up perfectly, because that's why I was laughing, because when I was in Ohio, I was that's what I used was my Fanny Stand the whole weekend. And Christy goes, "So are you going to name your Fanny Stand?" And I go, "Why would I name my Fanny Stand? Yeah, am I going to name? Yeah, what am I going to name it?" And she goes, "I think you should call it Steven." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Steven Tyler, back in the saddle again." You know that song, "Back in the Saddle Again"?
Yeah. That's a stretch. Maybe this is why she's number 3.
Oh, so then she said we need to get some scarves and tie it around the, like the neck.
Like the microphone stand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, shoot.
Wow, she's overthinking this thing. Wow.
I tell you what, Christy.
Oh man, yeah. Kind of slid in it, put a few guitar picks. Yeah, fixed it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways.
No, to the side, under the thigh.
I don't like to stitch it with it like that.
Oh.
I don't know why. Because I really don't. It's I guess I really do kind of have it underneath one thigh, but in the middle. I don't have it on the side.
Oh.
I do probably put it under my left thigh. But anyways.
But I don't feel it. I don't feel it in the recliner. I don't feel it at all. It's just.
No, you don't even feel. No, you don't. I don't either.
Right. So. That worked out great, though.
I tell you what, I love that Fanny Stand.
Yeah.
I am not even kidding you.
Yeah. No, and I was going to work on the Queen tonight after we got done recording, but there's another football game on. I might just go right back downstairs and just sit in that recliner and do it again. Yeah. I don't know. But that works out. Yeah, it's a great stand. It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Well designed and everything. Yep.
Yeah, it's very sturdy. You can tell it's well made.
Yep.
What I like, and I don't think people understand this, but you don't have to buy the whole stand over and over and over. You can just buy the hoop with the little rod on it that fits in your Fanny Stand bottom part.
Yeah.
And so you can have multiple size hoops if you want to. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. Pretty. Well, I don't think I even told you. Did I tell you that I put up every stand I have except for my case creation and my Fanny Stand?
No, you put them all away?
I put them all away.
Seriously? That arsenal you have, you put them all away?
I had all of them. Okay, so I found out two things when I went to Ohio, I had Sarah B on 30-inch scroll rods, right?
Yeah.
And I always thought this thing is like, like I told you, like belt yourself in and get prepared for the ride. You know what I mean? That's what I've always felt. And I enjoyed stitching on it in a hoop better than I did on the scrolls.
Sarah B, really?
Yeah. I feel like I moved faster, and I felt like yes. And I felt like I wasn't like overwhelmed by, see this 36 inches that I have to get down to the other side. I didn't feel, because I couldn't see it. It was just my little 10-inch or 9-inch round spot that I had. And I felt like it was very much more comfortable to stitch on. I didn't feel overwhelmed or like worried or any, I just focused on that one little thing, that one little area. Yes, I liked it very much better.
That's interesting, because see, what would drive me nuts about that is all that cloth hanging all over the place.
It really didn't. It was really just kind of like, it really didn't. It just kind of like draped over my side, over the side. And then I even used those little thread peels. I rolled it and I like hooked it on with the thread peels around the, you know what I mean? Around the hook, one on one side.
Yeah.
But anyways, I really did enjoy stitching with that hoop on Sarah B. So then when I got home, it's like I had, how many stands? I had my 2 needle system 4 stands, and I had 2 roller frame stands, and then I had that little wooden stand. So that's 5 stands plus my case creation and then the Fanny Stand. And I just sat in my room staring at all of them thinking, I'm not using all of these right now. And why do I have them up here when I have this, really nice case creation it's my number one stand in my opinion right now. And, fabulous. There's some things about it that I wish were maybe a little bit different, but for the most part, that's the number one stand for me. Mm-hmm. Wish I would have, I still like the Needlework System 4, but I like the case creation, I think, better. And anyways, I just thought, I can put them down in the basement, in the cave. I can see them every day. If I need them, I'll come down and get them. But I put them all up. And it's not that I don't like them. I don't want everybody to say, well, no, you said this and I got this and now you're saying you don't like it. That's not really it. It's just that I use every one of them. It's like my sewing machines. I have 5 sewing machines too, and I use every one of my sewing machines. It's just that, there's certain tools for certain jobs. You know what I mean? And right now the tools that I need are just the case creation and my Fanny Stand.
Yeah.
So I have them. And most of those, everybody probably thinks, oh, I buy all this stuff. A lot of those stands and stuff I was in trade like with some shop because I finished for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you earned them.
I earned them. Yeah, I earned those stands, and that's like, my new sewing machine and stuff. I earned that too. I worked and I worked it off until I had enough money to get it, and I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the way. That's how I work things in my head. Is that I say, okay, now I'm going to run this running tab with you, and then when I want something, I buy it, and that's how it works.
Right. Right.
So, anyways, yeah.
Boy,
So
Keith must have done a happy dance having all that room in the bedroom.
He was like, I'll be honest with you. He was like, are you serious? You're putting all these up? Because I started carrying him down. And he goes, are you serious? You're putting them up? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, I think that big roller frame one, he goes, I think that needs to be torn down, like unbolted. Because those are all fully, you can like get them down to like where they're nothing. You know what I mean? Because they're all, screwed together and stuff. And so he went and got me a sack, and it was actually a body pillowcase is what we put it in. And I just unscrewed everything and put them all back together, and I have them numbered so I know what goes where, with them.
Right.
And I just unscrewed them and put the screws back on, the nuts back on. I put it in that bag, and that was my big one. Now my other ones I didn't have to take apart because they're smaller. But yeah, I put everything up, and it's almost like cleansing, almost mentally a little bit to like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So, anyways, yeah. So I've got I don't know. Do I have my focus? My focus, I guess, is the queen. I guess. That's all I really stitch on. I would like to stitch on other things, but then when I think about stitching on other things, I think, oh no, I'm in the groove with the queen now. I need to just stay with the queen. So
yeah. No, I know what you mean. And now that I have that Montenegrin stuff in, yeah, I'm quite a bit more excited. That thing was really kind of wearing me down, but now that it's over.
Now I'm going to tell you right now, the next thing that you're going to have that's going to really wear you down is that spiral trellis stitch.
Oh yeah, but see, I'm looking forward to that. I want to, when the way Linda stitched hers, man, that's a good challenge there. I want to get that because that's a beautiful stitch when it's done.
Yeah. When it's done. And the one that I tore out like 50 times, the last one that I did that I tore out, it was beautiful. And I think it looked just as good as Linda's.
Oh, listen to you.
I really do. The last one, not the first or the second or the third 5, 10, 20 that I did not. But that last one I had read so many tutorials and people had sent me so many reference things that I finally, it clicked with me. And I hope but I'm not even going to start those. I've already decided. Do you want to know what my, what is that plan of attack is for this fourth band? We talked a little bit about it on Friday night, and I'm still doing it every little bit, but I'm going to fill in everything, cross stitch everything and outline and Montenegrin stitch and yada, yada. And then I'm saving all of those spiral trellises until the end. I want to make sure everything is perfectly placed. Everything is, counted right before I ever even think about doing the spiral trellis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's smart. See, I look at those the way I look at say walnetto stitches and needlepoint.
Yeah.
Where if there's several of them, I'll get things framed around them, and then I'll do one, and then I might come back a couple weeks later and do another one. And so I'm looking at those as, unless I get on a roll, as something I can just do a couple now and a couple then, and just keep keep going with the other stuff.
Right. Well, I learned when I was putting in those 1, 2, and 3 bands again that I would do like a dividing band, then I'd do some alphabets, and then I would do some more dividing bands, and I'd do this. And if I worked on separate bands, that kept my attention. I didn't feel like, I've got, you know what I mean? I've got to do 70 dividing band, or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
I just did a length and then went to something else. And I really tore through those first 3 bands pretty quick. And, I am not unhappy at all with how my fourth band, it just is another nail or exclamation point on me tearing everything out and restarting it, because that was like people really there was people that was like, yes, I understand. And then there was other people that were like, what the hell were you thinking? And one of my friends actually texted me and said that. Why in the hell did you tear that out? I was like, and I think she thought I got offended, and I didn't get offended. It's just that it was just like, well, the reason I did was just because I did not feel good about it. It just felt dirty to me. You know what I mean? Like I had messed with it so much. It just was like, it just had lost its sparkle. And I'm telling you right now, if I'm not looking back on it and seeing how well it's gone now after I've restarted, looking back on it, I know that if I would have left it and done what everybody said, nothing's perfect, you can fudge it, whatever. No, I don't think I would have ever finished it.
Yeah.
And I'm not being dramatic. I'm being like truthful.
Right.
I don't know that it would have been like pulling teeth for me to continue when I knew that I had that many problems with it.
Right.
And I mean, it wasn't obvious. Maybe, that leaf, like you said, that was obvious. The other things were not obvious. Really, if you sat and looked, nobody could gone like you did and circled the leaf. The leaf was obvious. The other things that were wrong were not obvious. And I was willing to, take those in stride. Nothing's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect except God. Yeah, I understand that. And I was going to go with it, roll with it. But, those things that weren't perfect compounded and got worse every band.
Yeah.
And so to me, why would I do that? That would just be like shooting myself in the foot, because I'd feel bad every band because something would go wrong every band, because I would forget and count from the other band above to make sure I was right on the band below.
Right.
And I would forget,
Yeah.
So anyways, I know I've beaten a dead horse with that.
No, because I know exactly how you feel. Because when I got all the way to the right side with the Montenegrin stitch, both tracks, and discovered it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Now, normally I'd have been pretty upset, but because I had to tear it all out. I mean, it all had to come out. But I wasn't. And the reason I wasn't is there were several patches across the way where I had used thread I should have replaced because it had been in and out 2 or 3 times. And it had lost some of its luster. And I was just telling myself, it's done, just leave it. But then when I had to tear it out, it was like, okay, I'm really not happy I have to tear this out, but it's going to eliminate these patches that my eye keeps going to.
Right. And I want to say something else about this, me tearing out. And remember how I was like, we talked about this briefly before we went live or something. Sometime we talked about this in one of our many discussions, private discussions, was that I feel better about silk. I feel this second go round, I don't know if I've learned how to handle the silk better or I don't know what it is, but I feel like my silk is lying nicer than what it did the other time. I feel like it's not getting as fuzzy as it did the other time. I think I told you that I rebought the whole silk.
Yeah,
line.
You did. Yeah.
I bought the whole silk, and I have another cut of 37 count Russian tea cake in reserve in case something happens again. But I'm still using my shorter cut lengths, because that was another part of the problem that was really irritating me, is that I felt like I cut my silks too short the first time. So when there's just little short, like the alphabet, I don't need a long piece of silk. I use the short ones, right? If there's only a couple of letters.
Right.
If there's a leaf, I can get one leaf done with a short length. But the Montenegrin stitch, to me, you're getting in a groove, and you don't want to stop after 12 stitches and get a new piece. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I got some of those thread drops, and I cut in 18-inch lengths religiously, maybe even 20-inch lengths. And I have that longer lengths on a thread drop. And I use those. So like, that's another thing about the spiral trellis stitch. You need a long ass piece of thread on those things. And so
new term, long ass piece.
So I'm glad I got. So I think that's put me in a different perspective, a different frame of mind. I feel good about the silks now, because it had crossed my mind, and I even had converted all the silks to DMC colors when I decided that I was tearing out.
Right. No, I know that's where you were going. Yeah.
Yeah. I had come down. I even have the ring of DMC floss upstairs in my 3-tier, because that was the last text I sent to you that night was, I'm going downstairs and I'm changing the colors. I'm tearing everything out.
Yep.
And I'm changing the colors to DMC. And then that was it. I didn't talk to you anymore that night. I was like angry, because I was like, how much more am I going to take of this? Because I wasn't happy with the silks, yada, yada. But I will say, this whole restart, I mean, I washed my linen. I picked everything out. I washed it. I did the Gary Parr roll and stomp thing. and I loaded her back up. And it has been like a new lease on life for me with the queen. And I can say that with confidence now. And then when we get to the damn arbor, those queens, what am I going to do then? That's going to be,
Same
I don't
thing.
even.
We'll work our way through it.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, and that's, I know that many people have asked us this, and they asked us this Friday night, do we do a doodle cloth? I get asked this all the time. Yes. Yes, I do a doodle cloth. But a doodle cloth, I can do it perfectly when you're just following the directions, going straight across or whatever. I can do it. No problem. It's the counting that has been that's what's been my Satan in all of this, is the counting, and it's stupidity. And I will, on my part, and I will say that line that I've done, that row of stitches where I go in and out every 2 stitches so I can count the grit down, that has helped me tremendously.
It has. I should do that. I think that the smart thing that you did there, and I haven't done it yet, but I intend to do it, is to just take a thread and just base down and then mark off where each band begins and ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps you contained. Yep.
It does. And then another thing that I feel like has helped me too is that I've started, even if it's just 10 stitches of the dividing bands that are on the top and bottom of each band, that helps too, because then you can count to make sure that vertically you're okay too.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I have been.
No, I didn't notice that, but that's a good idea too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to do that. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah. So what's next? After we get the 4 in, then there's a line of alphabet again, right? Alphabet and numbers.
That'll be a cakewalk.
Yeah, because the next band then is the harbor, right?
I believe it is. Yes. Yep.
I think it is too.
Buckle up for the ride. Yep.
Yeah, I'm really worried about that one. Oh well, whatever.
I was all worked up. You got me all worked up over the Montenegrin stitch, and I mean, I struggled with it, but for me, it was the counting too. It wasn't the stitch itself.
No, it's not the stitch. It's the counting.
It isn't all that hard.
No.
But it's the counting, and it's as we talked about, I think either Friday night or at some other point, it's the fact that you really start the turn 2 stitches before the actual turn.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense, and you're forever overshooting it or undershooting it. And then once you get that in your head, then it goes right.
Right. And I will say this. Okay, so this time around, so I just started my Montenegrin stitch like this weekend. And when I did it, I was like, oh crap, how do I do this? And then Amy Mitten's book, hats off to Amy Mitten, because how in the world on God's green earth did she ever figure that out? I don't understand it. She figured out everything, up, down, sideways, whatever. And that book makes the Montenegrin stitch, in my mind, a cakewalk. As far as, you know, whatever stitch you're going. It's the turns that get you. But this second time around, it was like, oh, it like clicked with me. Easier. Like the last time I was probably kind of making up stuff as I was as I was turning, because it was like, I don't think this is where I'm just gonna, okay, let's put it here. You know what I mean? And as long as it looked like what the other stitches looked like, I didn't like really get upset about if one leg wasn't right where it was supposed to be, probably.
Yeah.
And this time I've only done like 2 or 3 turns, but each time it was like, oh yeah, I can do this. This is nothing. I mean, not nothing, but it's like, as long as you go slow and you concentrate on what you're doing, it's not a problem.
Right.
So I will say, I was doing the dividing band, and somebody pointed out to me, thank God for all of you people that are like watching my every stitch on these, on these posts, because I posted all proud on Saturday night or I think it was Saturday night. Here's the front and here's the back. And somebody goes, you missed a leg. I'm sorry, but you missed a leg on the bottom. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And I went and looked, and yes, I had. So thank you because then it's easier to fix, pick out 10 stitches than 75 stitches. So.
Yep. So true.
Yeah. So, but boy, people are really keeping me accountable. Are people keeping you accountable?
When I post, I don't hear much. No, I don't know.
I mean, people will tell me this isn't right. That's not right.
No, I haven't gotten that much. No.
I get that a lot. It's probably because people know I need help. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I haven't had much of that. I don't know.
I have. Oh well.
But I did learn, and I'm using this more and more. I mean, my beginning and ending threads, as many techniques as I know, and so on and so forth, still is always just a thing for me. But I really found a rhythm with the Montenegrin stitch, and I'm going to use this in other places, of putting, because you have to finish the thread off on top, because if you don't, you ruin the reversible look.
Yeah, on the one that you're doing. On mine, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can get away with it on the back. Yeah, I can't.
No.
And so I have to finish on top. So then I was stitching along, and then I would finish going back to what I just stitched. But then I was starting the next one in that same spot, and I was always concerned I was going to pull out the thread that I just put in when I finished that row. And that's when I thought, wait a minute, you idiot. You can do do a waist knot, but have the thread on top, not on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started doing that, so I would end a thread going back to where I just stitched, and then I do a waist knot, but bring the thread up from the bottom and start stitching. So then I just stitched it right down as I went, and then just cut the knot off when I got there. And boy, I really picked up speed then, because I was able to just set up and go.
Right. And you know what? I'm going to tell, and this might, I mean, I really like the pin stitch, right? But I am going to tell you right now, I told you what I was stitching last night, and I used the waist knot on there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's almost faster than a pin stitch.
Because you might be right. Yeah. Yeah.
You just sink it and go. As long as it's in line of where you're stitching over, you know what I mean? It's just like right there you go. And you can start it at a diagonal if your stitches are diagonal or whatever. And I just feel like it's faster.
Yep.
And I think that maybe, I believe almost maybe a little bit that the waist knot is not fully understood how wonderful and versatile it is, because it's a pretty versatile way, easy way of starting something.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure it gets the credit it should. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. And, yeah, I don't think it does either. I don't think that before this project, I fully understood what a waist knot was. That's the first thing. I don't think I fully understood what it was. And, the away knot, I know I didn't understand that. And this project has fully brought me into the light of what an away knot is.
Yeah.
And, but I am like, I really do like a waist knot. I truly do. So
Yeah. Now, see, away knots I use in needlepoint all the time.
yeah.
So that's just normal for me. But not the waist knot so much. But yeah, I agree with you. That's versatile.
It is.
It really is.
And I would suggest, everybody's getting this. There's another printing of Proper Stitch, and I think several people that are following us on the Queen sampler, and maybe didn't have the Proper Stitch, is getting the Proper Stitch here recently. I feel like I've noticed a lot of people getting them. Well, anyways, she discusses, that's where I kind of learned what the differences were, is because she discusses that, like in the very first chapter of the Proper Stitch. And, that's a very valuable book. Even if all you're going to do is cross stitch the rest of your life, that's a very valuable book just to learn like how threads behave. Because I know that once again, when I started just cross stitching, regular cross stitching yesterday, I had been with the Queen for 2 weeks, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this project real quick that's just cross stitching. And I had to again stop and think about, okay, I don't have to worry if it's reversible or not on this. You know what I mean? Because I find my mind thinking, how is that thread laying underneath?
Yeah, yeah.
All the time now, I think that way.
Yeah, it'll do that to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you found yourself thinking?
Oh, sure.
That too?
Oh, yeah. But I think it's not, because like I always worry about my back anyway. I don't think it's as much worrying about how the thread's laying. I think your mind visualizes better
I agree with that.
what's happening on the back.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with that too. And like, I know I've said this before, and people are probably tired of me saying this, but
several have written to me that yes,
they're tired of me saying this. Okay,
whatever it is.
I'm going to say it again. Oh gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, that's menopause brain. Anyways, what I was going to say is that, like I think in January or February this year, when I first started doing these Wednesday shows, you said, do you think about your stitch path? And I started laughing, and you go, oh, okay, obviously not. Well, I think about my stitch path like all the time.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it. Just cross stitching, and you don't care what's on the back. You can make a long run and come back. Okay, I understand that. I would think about how to cross stitch with the least, amount of thread used and stuff like that. But I never really thought hard about it. And I think, for me, pretty hard now, you know what I mean? I try not to think real hard. I want to enjoy it because this is my hobby. I want to enjoy it, but I will say that I think more about, okay, how am I going to attack this now than what I never did that before. I would just start stitching and then think, how should I go about this? I don't start stitching now. Now I look at it and I think, okay, how am I going to go about this? And then I'll do it. You know what I mean? Before I'd start stitching and in the middle of it think, maybe I didn't go about this. So anyways, I will say that it's been a real growth. Honestly, I do not regret pulling out the stitches. I don't regret that at all. I don't regret starting this project, because before I was never fully embracing it, really, even up into the 4th band. I was proud of myself. I had learned things, but I never fully embraced it or thought, yes, I can, until I ripped it all out. And then it was like, oh, yes, I can, come hell or high water. It's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not going to beat me. And, I don't know. I'm not done yet. We're not even what, a fourth of the way through yet.
No.
And I still
No.
have all that cutting. I still have all that cutting to do, but I know that I can do it. I hope.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's been excellent. I haven't regretted 1 minute with this thing. Been mad a few times, but haven't regretted it.
Right. No.
No. I'm already a better, more versatile stitcher than when we started.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
And and I would say, I was talking to somebody online recently, and they were like, well, I'm never going to do anything like that. All I want to do is cross stitches. Well, I said that too. Remember me saying that?
Yep.
I said it in March. You know what I mean?
I remember.
And when that Saturday that I can still remember that Saturday you called and you go, let's do this. Let's give this a shot. And I was like, I didn't know that I wanted to do it really. And, I'm certainly glad that you kind of talked me into it, and you really didn't talk me into it. It just really was like, let's do it. And I was like, okay. 'Cause that's the way I always am. I'm always like, all right, okay. And, so anyways, yeah, I would urge anybody that's listening that doesn't do, something other than cross stitch, which not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with cross stitch, because there's nothing. I love cross stitch, but it is to get a little taste, dip your toe into something, dip your toe into that, Janet Douglas, distance learning, winter learning that Kim's going to do this winter. Do that. That's a dip in your toe in it a little bit to try something else different.
Yeah. Take a run at something. Yeah. You never know. You might enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just totally, I don't know. For me, it has been a real eye opener. I have just really, my love, and I didn't think that I could love cross stitch or needlework any more than what I loved it in January. But this has totally rejuvenated my whole take on my hobby. It really has. It has really rejuvenated my passion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. Just look what you know now that you didn't even have a clue about.
Right. I mean, I don't know that I know it, but I mean, I can understand it. I can appreciate it better.
Right.
And I think people give me much more credit than what I deserve on my ability. I mean, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to fish for compliments. I think that people give me more than what I deserve. And I mean, I've got a long way to go. I'm not near master level of anything. And but it has, even just what I've learned on the Queen Stitch has helped me be, just if all I would do the rest of my life is cross stitch, that has helped. What I've learned already has helped me, be like what you said, be a better stitcher.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a dumb guy question.
All right.
So I'm going to do a waist knot, doesn't matter, whatever. So I need a knot so the thread doesn't pull through the linen.
Yeah, the quilter's knot. That's what I use. Is that what you're going to ask?
Okay. Because see, I just make a bunch of knots.
Yeah,
in the same spot, which takes forever. So I thought maybe there was a way. So there's a way to make a big old fat knot without a bunch of monkeying.
So you have your look up a quilter's knot, but I'm going to tell you how to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So you hold are you right-handed or left-handed? You're left-handed, aren't you?
I can figure it out. It's all right.
Okay. So what I do
been doing it all my life. I'll be fine.
Okay. So what I do, I'm right-handed. So I hold my needle in my left hand. I thread it and I hold my needle in my left hand. Okay. So you take the longest end of your thread or floss and you wrap it around. So it's going to be in a clockwise rotation around the shaft of the needle. Okay.
Oh my.
And when so you hold your needle like in my left hand. I have my long end tail of my floss in my right hand. I wrap like 3 or 4 times, maybe 6 times. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. However, 5 to 6 times around the shaft of the needle, and you kind of like tuck it underneath the thumb of your left hand. You know what I mean? And hold it between your thumb and your pointer finger. Then you pull that needle, holding it with your thumb and your pointer finger, you pull the needle out, hold it all the way down and pull it all the way down the length of the floss, and that's a quilter's needle. That's a quilter's knot. And it'll make a big old fat knot.
Really?
Yep.
Well, look at me learning something.
Yeah, so needle in the left hand, point, your point out. So your eye is going to be towards your palm. Your point's going to be out. Wrap, 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 wrap. Hold it with your thumb and your index finger of your left hand. With your right hand, grasp the point of the needle and pull it all the way down to the end of the floss, and it'll be a fat knot.
Well, that'll save me a couple of half hours.
Oh, it's like quick.
Huh. There we go. See, I knew there had to be a trick somewhere. Yeah.
And if you want a thinner needle, a thinner knot, you only do like a couple of wraps. If you want a fat knot, you do, 5 to 6. The more wraps, the fatter your knot.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Yes.
Yeah, it's easy. That is the easiest way to make a knot, in my opinion.
Wow. Well, yeah, just describing it, I can visualize it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'm armed and dangerous.
Now you are. But you can get that done. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think an away knot is faster.
Right.
Because then even a pin stitch, because you don't have to worry about holding it and going down and splitting the, you don't have to worry about that. You just make a knot and go.
Yeah. Well, if you can make a knot that fast, because I'll sit there and tie it and get get 5 or 6 knots all in the same spot, and then I start.
Well, what my mother always did to make a knot is
yes.
Another way to make a knot, and my mother, this is how she made a knot, but I don't feel like it was as tidy of a knot as what the quilter's knot is. A quilter's knot is very tidy. But anyways, my mom would always lick her pointer finger, okay, and then rub her thumb against it, take the thread, wrap it around her pointer finger, and then roll it between her pointer finger and her thumb and pull it to the end, and that also makes a knot. So you basically what you're doing is you're twisting the loop of thread around your index finger. You're just twisting it up and then yanking it, and that makes a knot.
Yeah, but you got to lick the thread, so.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah.
No, not happening. Okay, yeah. I got to now. Oh, all right. Yes.
Now, I imagine that you can, even if you would look up quilter's knot. Here, I'm going to look it up real quick. I bet you it's on. I bet you there's something.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Oh boy! All right, now that just sped up the whole operation here. Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. There's YouTube videos on it. Yeah.
The YouTube video for everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Okay, thanks. See, I knew. Yep. So Friday night, Vanna and we just announced it, I guess, really on Instagram, but we've been talking about, so we're doing now Friday night live shows. We're going to try and do every Friday night unless life gets in the way, but we're doing them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do them on Instagram anymore. And so they're on YouTube. So find the Fiber Talk YouTube channel and, subscribe and then click on the little bell so you get notification. Yeah. And then, we're going to do them all in there because we have much more control. The images, the sound were some of the best we've done. It really works out great, and it's going to give us more versatility. So that's a Friday night, and it's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. But what that does is it allows us to have better quality and better control while we're doing it live. But then it also allowed me, this time I had that video posted and available for everyone within an hour, I think, after we had finished. Where typically it would take me 3 hours of monkeying to get it so that there would be something presentable up there. And so it cuts way down on my time, but it also gives a better product. And we still can see all the comments, and everything worked out great. So that's where you'll find us on Friday nights, for our live show at 8 Eastern is on YouTube, not on Instagram. And we'll announce it on Instagram, but it's going to be on YouTube, not Instagram.
Right.
Yeah. And join us. And I mean, we're just talking. There's no formal program. I was just talking about stuff. But if you have questions or whatever, I mean, we're open to any of that. We got some really good questions in last time. So
yeah, I thought there was lots of good questions, and we answer questions that have nothing to do with needlework.
Oh yeah,
you can ask me like,
we don't care.
What potato chips I prefer. I'll tell you which ones.
And just which ones are they?
Ruffles.
Oh, okay.
Ruffles or Mike Sells?
What?
Mike Sells? You don't have Mike Sells?
No, never heard of that.
What about Grippos? Have you ever had Grippos?
No.
Okay, now listen to this. Grippos are the best freaking potato chips on the face of the earth. And where I grew up, all in Hobstadt, Indiana, all of the grocery stores, well, there was only one, had them. And they make the best barbecue potato chips. Oh my goodness, they are so good. And they're made in Cincinnati. Grippos is a Cincinnati company. And you would think that Kroger, which is also headquartered in Cincinnati, would carry Grippos chips, but guess what? They don't. No, they don't. So I can't get Grippos, but interestingly enough, they will carry Grippos at gas stations and in Ohio. And so when I go to, as soon as I get across the Ohio border, I usually need to get gas, and I always stop and get Grippos and a Mountain Dew.
And there you are, absolute nirvana in a car, right?
I know, right? Listening to 80s music, eating Grippos and drinking Mountain Dew. What could be better?
I can't think of a thing.
I can't either. Except spending Friday nights with you.
Oh, is that what? Okay, I can beat out a bag of potato chips.
I don't know.
Oh, it's close. Okay, it's close.
It's close. Yeah, Mike Sells. It's like Mike and then Sells. 2 words. Those are the chips we have. We have chips that are like that, called that here in Bloomington. Mike Sells, and they're very good. But I like Ruffles the best.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Ruffles. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. One time, Margaret and I were in Boston, and there's this white cheddar popcorn. And we'd never seen it, heard of it, anything. And I don't even know how we got a bag of it. But, man, it was good. And we ate a bag. We were there for several days, so we went through, some bags of white cheddar popcorn. And we're thinking, oh, man, this is so good. We got to get 2 or 3 bags and take home because we'd never seen such a thing. This has got to be a Boston thing, So we're on the plane. We have a shopping bag full of bags of white cheddar popcorn. I forget what the brand is, but it doesn't matter. We get home. We enjoy our popcorn. Margaret had to go to the grocery store like a few days later.
And guess what? They had it.
Yeah. How many do you want?
Oh, that's
so
hilarious.
every time we see it in the store, it's like, yeah, we should get some of those from Boston. They're better.
Oh gosh. Well, you know what's funny? Speaking of popcorn, I love popcorn, but sometimes popcorn it gives me the stomach ache for some reason. I don't know why. But here in Indiana, there's I don't think people realize this, but there's quite a lot of Amish here in Indiana. And in Berne, Indiana, Berne, Indiana, there is an Amish community, and they are known for their popcorn.
Really?
Uh-huh. And I buy at the little Amish community close to me where we get our meat and stuff like that in Odin, Indiana. I get that at one of the little Amish grocery stores in that town, and I always get red and purple popcorn. They have different varieties, but I get the purple and the red because they are they make a smaller kernel, a more tender popped kernel and not very many hulls, because that's a real drawback about popcorn in my mind, is the hulls, you know.
Yeah.
And these are like low hulls. And just last night I popped popcorn for Keith and I, and they also sell like the sprinkle stuff to put on different flavors. I mean, other companies do this too, but this Burn Indiana Amish people, they do that too. And our favorite is white cheddar, the white cheddar sprinkles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
Yep. Yep.
Pretty good.
Oh, it's better in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah.
We felt like such idiots. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I would love to know what the brand is.
Well, I'll next time I'm in the grocery store, I'll note what brand it is. They have plenty of it. Oh man.
Oh, and you messed with it like carrying it on the plane too. That's fun.
Baby in it, making sure it didn't get crushed, the whole bit. Yeah. Couple of boneheads. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. All right. So Friday night at 8 Eastern is our live show. Sunday, our guest is Krista West of Avlia and Krista West Vestments.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah,
we got to learn she's Greek Orthodox, and she makes altar cloths and other vestments for the Greek Orthodox Church all over the world, and the story of how she does that and how she got involved and so on and so forth. And then her Avlia, AVLEA website, that's all Mediterranean folk embroidery cross stitch. Oh, colors are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get the whole rundown from Krista.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Enjoyed that one. And please check out last Sunday's show with Claire Hunter.
Yeah, the book is fantastic. Get the book if you haven't read the book. I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but it's a fantastic book.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just really hung up on this. I'm really proud of that interview, and I just really enjoyed doing it and listened to it again, and was really pleased with the way it came out. That was a good one, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree. But I don't know that you don't. This one was probably near and dear to your heart, but you do fabulous interviews on anything that you do, Gary. I mean, I'm not just buttering you up. Why would I butter you up? I don't have anything to butter you up about. But I do think you just are really good at this. Very, very good.
Oh, well, thanks.
And you really draw out, I couldn't do what you do, and you do an excellent job. And it was a fabulous interview. Both of them were fabulous interviews. So.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad decided to do 2-hour-long shows with her, because I just really felt like there was a breadth of information and stories that needed to be told without getting it all crammed into an hour. And really pleased with that. So please, folks, listen to that. Buy the book. Believe me, you will not regret buying the book.
No. You can get it today on Amazon for like, what, $7 or $8, I think.
Yeah.
An e-reader.
Yeah, electronic book. Yeah. Yeah, I just really think that's one of the gems. Absolutely one of the gems. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be it.
Well, doggone it. It's over already.
Yep. Talk to you Friday.
Yeah, I'll be there, or I'll be square.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Sassy Jacks for the sponsoring.